I will go ahead and introduce the players in the left starting position. On Abyssal City, we have our red Protoss. If he plays by his playstyle, he better hope that his opponent does not 8-pool. His name is TooGreedy. And in the middle right position, we have our blue Zerg from the clan Druids, I believe is a clan. I don't know what the full name of it is, but Druids is the tag, and that's most of the clan name. And his name is RMH.
His Royal Majesty's, I don't know.
His royal... I see what you're trying to do, and I can't think of a way to do it either, so...
Yeah, never mind. I was going to do like a pin of 4 joke, but it's just not going to happen. It is going to go ahead and be a wall-off on the low ground, and it's not actually going to be a funky wall-off at all.
Yep, and, well, his opponent isn't really going for some sort of crazy early pool shenanigan unless he drops a pool right about now, which he will not, so... He should be able to get away with this. I think you want to really go forwards first in this situation and not go with the too greedy approach of going Nexus first with how big this wall is, though, just in case. You don't want to let any lings by even on a standard pool time. If you're not walled off in time, I mean, even just those 4 lings could just be a total pain in the ass. Or butt, to be politically correct, I guess.
And yes, you don't want to offend all the asses out there.
I do not.
No. You want to
Poor
be politically
donkeys.
correct.
All they want to do is carry gear and create rules.
Absolutely, like they're really tired of our jokes. You know, Shrek really sent their movement back about the decade.
Yes, he did.
They could not believe that an ogre was yelling donkey in a movie in the year 2000. It was really pretty surprising. We've got nothing but giggles here. There's space sharks at the natural as the probe tries to deny it as long as possible. Nice little shenanigans. It's actually very exciting to watch an overlord chase a space shark so early on in the game. That generally speaking,
I feel like the space shark should want to eat that overlord. Like, what does a space shark eat?
We've actually questioned this many a time as SCV Rush staff. Everyone who casts with me eventually has to answer these questions. And there's lots of stuff on this particular map for him to eat. There's lots of mud crabs and schools of fish. It makes a lot more sense than generally speaking. But we've also decided that the space sharks are out of time with the rest of the Starcraft universe, and therefore are merely observing, for they see the beginning and the end.
So it's like an Adabisi shark.
Yes, they see all. It's true, just like Adabisi.
He does, and he's Canadian, so bonus points there.
Well, that is the first thing I don't like about him.
Oh,
that
really?
I've heard,
I like Canadians.
Oh.
I walk into Tim Hortons, they give me my coffee, and then they apologize. I'm like, you don't apologize.
They just don't know what it's all about, is my
They do not.
It's just a standard wall-off here. Plenty of ways to get in and around that particular cannon with roach play, though. That's what I'm fascinated to see. And, of course, what the third base is going to go ahead and be. It's going to be the upper right-hand corner. It's going to be the one that's a little bit further away, but is a full base. Druids is going to be playing just a little bit greedy, not afraid of his opponent at all, as a probe gets chased back to the natural.
Yep. And with that third base, I mean, it's not the most easily defensible thing, but the geometry in this map, the topography in this map is really strange with this, like, raised ground area right near it, too, so a lot of ways to attack it, but it is at least expanding away from his opponent, so that in itself is pretty decent. It makes that walk path longer to attack that base, so should be fine taking that location, especially it looks like TooGreedy is just sitting back and playing pretty passively here, so certainly no issue with this so far. His wall-off is pretty, like, this is a very strange wall-off that actually has come into play.
See, I said it wasn't going to be strange, but then he put that pylon there.
Yeah.
And now it's weird again.
Yes.
You made it weird, Greedy. You made it weird.
Yep, and he's really going to try and run by. Not going to happen. And I don't know what that was. Poor Zergling. The Overmind is feeling particularly cruel today.
He couldn't live without his lover anymore. He just had to.
I can't take it anymore. Little does he know the other Zergling only drank a sleeping potion and will just be able to sleep and wake up and then she'll kill herself too.
Oh my god, it's Romeo and Zergalette. It's fantastic. I love it.
Romeo and Zergalette. The greatest play of our time.
It is. It's really great. You know, that is a weird Shakespeare Zerg inflection joke, and I promise not to do anything like it for the rest of my life, and I'm sorry immediately.
Don't make the viewers think too hard.
Additional gas geysers popping. No, they're not additional. Druid's freaking me out by only building gas geysers in the natural, and only at the standard time. Huh.
There you go. Mind games.
Freaking me out.
100%. And looking at what TooGreedy is doing right now, it's looking Sentry Immortal all in-ish. The Sentry's being made consistently. And let's see. Actually, I want to see when the gates are added down. And let's see. The Robo's in the way. Never mind. Oh, Twilight Council. I'm completely talking out my bum right here. But man, I'll have to see what he decides to do with this. It could be actually a +2 blink timing with the Twilight Council going down and gateways being added as well, or he could just be expanding and trying to keep those upgrades going. But yep, I did not call this one properly at all, so I'll just have to let this one happen, I think.
We're just gonna have to let it play with the
I got a little
Twilight
greedy
Council.
with my little greedy with my build predictions, so I'll have to
You know,
my fate.
2 PvPs in a row, and I don't blame you. That being said, Druids is really droned up very heavily. Was a little bit delayed on those additional gas geysers, allowing him to get more and more. Wow, even an 8-minute, 15-second macro hatch as well on top of that. So Greedy's going to have to make something happen in a big way in the next 2.5 minutes, sir.
Yeah, this is me like that huge Roach influx, even with especially with that macro hatch, and actually getting a bunch of Zerglings as well to maybe try and be a bit of a bother. Not really sure what his plan is with those. Maybe just a big Roachling attack in the future, and using that macro hatch to reinforce as well and just maintain some aggression. But we do have the Blink, and Blink's on the way, as well as some Immortals, which is so you go for a bit of a Blink Stalker Immortal composition, and against Roaches that's pretty darn good. So looking all right, and that +2 weapons upgrade is halfway done as well for the Protoss player.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, all of these speedlings being made at just the right time. Druids is very much impressing me with just his general sense of this map. He's not afraid to play aggressively or like he typically would. On it, the upgrade's coming out, but the Blink, it doesn't feel like is going to be very useful. Are these Lings really going to engage this? It doesn't feel like they should, sir, but...
Well, they see it's up there now. Let's see if he tries to go around, and I feel like he should go around, but there are a fair amount of sentries, so not a whole lot these Lings can really do, I think, unfortunately. There are a fair amount of Roaches starting to make their way out as well. We've seen continued unit production now. He's reached his 3-base saturation point as far as Workers is concerned. Not adding on any additional gases. I don't believe he even has an infestation pit, so he's all about the aggression right now. And behind that pylon, here's the fight. The sentries do not really get force fields up. Let's see how many do go down. Here come the Roaches back as well. A force field attempt does go off, but here come the rest of the Roaches, and well, you can't miss force fields like that and have your sentries chomped on by Zerglings, and a lot of stuff is going down here. It looks like RMH with that macro hatch and only units right now is looking in really good shape to take this game to maintain its aggression. Here comes an Immortal as well, and let's see what he can do. The sentries are going down, and you need those sentries to defend against this, so just absolutely. With a bunch of Lings and Roaches in the way, he loses this Immortal, he's not looking good.
No, not at all. I'm actually very surprised at how easy it was for wow, just a splinter attack there with the Roaches coming in from behind. This aggression continuing on. The third base never allowed to come up. Lings attempting to get through this weird wall corridor, and Roaches doing as much damage as possible. Ooh, a little bit of lag spikes popping up there. Unfortunate, but nothing can be done. Druids now running away after having taken his 4th. He is soon to be on 5 hatches and nigh on unstoppable at this rate.
Yeah, so he did a lot of damage. I mean, it's no economic damage done directly, but taking out a bunch of Immortals, and or at least 2 Immortals, I think, maybe, and a bunch of Sentries. That's just a lot of gas you do not want to lose. He has to remake those, but at the same time, +3 weapons is on the way now, and Zerg hasn't really made any plans for the later game, only just now adding on additional gas geysers. I still do not believe he has an infestation pit unless I missed that going down, and I do not see it. So I think he still is a good way off from high if he has to drop down the infestation pit. Infestors would be quite useful at this point in time, and there does finally go the infestation pit. So gonna start progressing forward in the game after that early or mid-game.
Yeah, I guess we'll build some tier 2 units. I mean, whatever.
I really have to. Well, he's still making a ton of Zerglings though, so a little Ling Infestor action it looks like, and gonna basically not be using the Roaches a whole lot more, but Burrow is on the way.
I mean, honestly, at this point, let's just throw down the Baneling Nest and see what happens, is my particular view.
Oh, yes.
The only thing that I would critique of Druids' play is that he's not taken down the wall in the middle. It feels like he should have. I guess it's such a minor... I guess it doesn't really help you, now that I'm looking at it more in depth. It only helps you by about 3-4 seconds, so never mind. TooGreedy is really attempting to troll up as much as possible. He really wants to expand and take that 3rd, but the creep is still blocking it for just another second. Oh, it's horrible.
Well, now the creep may not be blocking anymore, but a giant army sure as hell is. And here it does come. Force field's used more on the Roaches than the Lings, and the Lings will get the surround. Once those Roaches get in there, starting to deal some extra damage through that buffer, this just the supply disparity is pretty ridiculous right now. And once these immortals are gone, there's not a whole lot to stop these roaches just running in and killing everything.
That is all there is to it. It's a wave of Zerg up in your base. They're going to kill all your forward gateways, maybe your cybernetics core, pretty much whatever else they want to eat. They're really, Zergs are very bad house gifts.
Yeah, and with that engagement, just the force fields with that lower sentry count after being brought down earlier in the game, you just didn't have a way to wall off both fronts of that two-pronged attack. There was just no way to stop both the Lings and the Roaches. And I mean, this is what happens when Zerg just kind of keeps attacking and you don't land your force fields. It's just such a fickle balance of what can happen in a game. And a good bit of mana there from TooGreedy, who did indeed play TooGreedy and got crushed by mid-game Roach aggression, very Stefano style